Jane here. We're talking on a Thursday, miracle medicines, boosting our immunity and following the age of prevention, where we are able to avoid the infection rather than let the infection become resident in us. So do we have a strong enough immunity to ward off invaders? That's the big question. Last week I did the full spectrum of how we work at 365 Healthy by Choice to boost immune systems. And the week before, we talked about the bee pollen, propolis, and royal jelly. And today I'm talking about VitaFlow, Glutathione, and Phyto-C. So these are my top antioxidants that I use, as opposed to the oxidants, which are the oxygen-based ones. So we're talking antioxidants today. I'm going to explain all that to you simply, also get a bit technical, but keep it all simple for you. And by the end of this, you will know the 3 top nutrients that you need to cover the various levels of immunity that we need and to weaponize the body to heal and clear these invaders. I'm going to say at the outset that there's 2 kinds of infections, 2 kinds of sore throats. When we reach an equinox or a solstice on the 21st of March, June, September, or December, is when the earth naturally cleanses. Okay, so we can also naturally cleanse where our friendly bacteria shapeshift into the opportunistic, aggressive pathogen forms and go and clean the body out. And that will bring out a Herxheimer reaction, a cleansing reaction. We can get a headache, we can get a sore throat, we can get flu. I can't catch that from you. That's yours. Your own body system made it, natural cleansing. But we also get foreign invaders that are generally engineered. And these are the ones that are definitely contagious. So we're dealing with both of these when we're wanting to boost immune system. So I think that's just sort of sets the scene. I'm gonna start the presentation and let's work through it. And as I say, build our resistance before invaders strike. And that's the only way. I'll share a case study with you at the end. And we've got a nice sale on our immunity products as well. So do you have the immunity to ward off invaders and prevent infection? We are in the age of prevention. And I used the slide last time indicating how I build immunity into the whole holistic, integrated, epigenetic life orientation, quantum well-being compass of mine. And it's how we start restoring homeostasis in the body. And I talked last week about the innate and the adaptive forms of immunity. Can get technical, in other words, receptor recognition, immune activation, and modulation. I keep it simple, and I go to food state, and I use the foods, herbs, to work for your body. So here's the all-in list that I showed you last week as well. And we've got a case study right now. A lady came in with very, very severe degeneration, very, very low energy, low battery charge, really, really ill. And the first thing I've got to do is get some electricity going through her body, get the electrons flowing. So I kind of followed this, not in this order, but anyway, we put her on the skio. We did the holistic ancestral orientation. We did the live blood analysis. We put her in the saunas. We did the oxygen drips at the chronic disease clinic. And I must say, in 1 week, we turned this woman around. We've got her torsion field working. We've got the scalar waves in harmony. And we've got energy coming out of her. She's smiling. And also through the emotional purification, she now sees, the blockages. She sees the patterns that she's been stuck in for, as long as 15 years, and recurrences and recurrences. It's too beautiful to experience this. When people go to the food state, natural state, and you see healing on this level, and you see healthy clients. So we started with the minerals, the ormus, the shilajit. We gave her flaxseed oil twice a day, black seed oil twice a day, the probiotic 3 times a day, building 75% of the immunity in the gut. the replica RNA, DNA, the 5 building block peptides. I'm going to refer to them again and again because adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, and uracil are the peptides that build any conjugated amino acid protein in the body. So we have to have those, and I need every single cell corrected, and I need every single DNA code corrected so that the cells can change, that the tissues can change, and that the organ can change. We bring in the 5 major plant cell activating stem cells: raw jelly, blue-green algae, cordyceps, lion's mane, and phote. These get together. They're already a small light conjugation of amino acids, peptides, but we need them already conjugated to get going straight away. And they knock on the door and get the body's tissues healed. So we also bring in immunoglobulins to build the immune system. We brought in medicinal mushrooms here, transferred immunity, intelligent immunity from the medicinal mushrooms. We're also keeping our eye on the bone marrow and making sure that the white blood cells are being formed. We're dealing with stress hormones in the nervous system and bringing in various adaptogens for that, the mucuna for the brain, the neurotransmitters, trying to calm the brain down a little bit. Oil for the brain too, flaxseed oil, female and male hormones as necessary, because stress will damage your hormones. And sometimes we're waiting for the brain to clear in order for it to release hormones. So we'll bring in a bit of support in the beginning, all natural, all food state. All these nutrients are on the 365 Healthy by Choice online shop. You can go and read there. It's a sensory overload there. The oxygen I've talked about, I'm not bringing that in today, but we've definitely put her on oxygen and DMSO. Today we're talking about VitaFlow, glutathione, and Phyto C. So she's on all of those because they have top-level antioxidants in them. Remember that enzymes and hormones and neurotransmitters are all protein-based. Immunity is protein-based. So we're also making her alkaline. I'm using actually here the zeolite because the other gut issues. Parasites, the paramune defense. She doesn't actually have fat accumulation. We do have calcification here. So she's on the Decalci-X. Haven't given her specifically for lung or liver or gut or bone or anything like kidney right now because I'm waiting to see how the body's going to recalibrate. And we're doing those emotional releases, most definitely. So just I want a little bit of science and just what are antioxidants. If you remember from science, we've got a proton and a neutron in the center of an atom, and then we've got the electrons circulating around the outside. And when you get a free radical, you get unpairing of the electrons. So you'll have 2, 2, 2, and a 1. That's an unpaired, it's an unstable molecule, it's a free radical. And that's what you'll get from heated oils, sugars, white carbs, mercury, all toxins, chemicals, environmental pollutants. They're all free radicals. Blue light from the screen here, all free radicals. So we need antioxidants to come in and pair and neutralize the outer ring of the atom spin around the atoms. And then the body can clear it. And that's what antioxidants do. They generously share electrons. The biggest generously sharing thing, anything is almost gold of everything. But today we're focusing on these. So this is all very important information for you to know what we're doing and why we're doing what. You take the antioxidants at a different time to the oxidants. And don't, whatever you do, buy a bottle of something off the shelf where it's got oxygen and herbs in it because they're going to neutralize. So in the VitaFlow, glutathione, and Phyto C, we see this pairing happening, but we see much more, much higher level of repair. So here we're looking at VitaFlow. Let's bring this one in straight away. And it does lots of things and improves circulation. If I've got that, we've got nutrients flowing, we've got oxygen flowing, and the nutrients to the cell, energy being produced if there's highly charged electrons, and we've got waste removal. And we've got the pairing happening. The two major ingredients in VitaFlow are pine bark and grapeseed extracts. But we're getting all these things happening: increased circulation, lowered blood pressure, organs repairing, tissues, cells repairing, mitochondria being activated to produce more energy, and we get libido improvements. So that's huge. It is an advanced whole body flow formula. I'm very pleased that it's been a long time coming. It is on the shelves. And, circulation improves everything. We have nurses with terrible veins on their ankles, varicose veins in their legs that absolutely love this. There's another health practitioner that's got a net of veins around her ankles, also from standing, but it's basically poor circulation. And we are seeing clearing. So every week we're actually seeing clearing. It's too remarkable. We would do one capsule a day, but in chronic situations, we can do one capsule twice a day. I wouldn't do that for more than 2 months. So be aware of blood thinners. They don't go together with this, obviously. So the waste is removed, energy is coming back, and we're getting circulation to everything, the whole body and the organs. It comes from the French maritime pine tree. And we're getting all these things delivered to the vital cells, which is most important. So just on the flip side of that pamphlet, and these are all on my website, by the way, on the homepage, it's not a single ingredient product. So we've got micro and macro circulation improving, capillary strength improving, oxygen uptake improving, heart and vascular integrity improving, memory and cognitive clarity improving, of course, because we've got circulation, joint mobility, skin resilience, gut perfusion and absorption. It's a true all-in-one circulation nutrient of choice. And it's got the two major antioxidant materials in it: pine bark and grapeseed extract. I've included bilberry, horsetail, citrus, bioflavonoids, and dandelion, because those also produce nitric oxide. So watch here. I'm going to show you a beautiful picture here that you can see, and you can read for yourself further. Reduction in inflammation. We need that. Supporting oxygen uptake. I mean, this is like just a product on its own that we should all be taking, especially people who sit a lot. People who are toxic, people living at high altitudes. You want increased oxygen uptake. Boosting collagen, wow, skin cells, reducing oxidative damage, reduce pain and improve joint mobility. I'm on this, just to tell you, that works for me. Improve digestion, increase gut bacteria. So it's an inulin, it's a prebiotic. Lowering blood pressure, supporting circulation, strengthening heart cells, improving lung function, reducing airway obstruction. We're going to get more oxygen in there. And it's working with the oxidative products. It's working with the para-immune herbs. Enhances memory, fights free radicals, and regulates blood flow. Fighting free radicals is immunity. So stimulating the production of nitric oxide as well. It's signaling blood vessels to relax, reducing blood pressure, improving blood flow. If you breathe through your nose, you're going to produce natural nitric oxide. Pine bark also does it, and so does grapeseed extract, so does pomegranate, and I'm going to show you why I've chosen my selection for antioxidants. Powerful antioxidant, reducing inflammation, reducing oxidative stress, and reinforcing capillary strength. So in terms of cardiovascular health, reducing blood clotting, enhanced oxygen delivery, chronic venous insufficiency, poor leg circulation, and erectile dysfunction. This is really an all-in-one, massive antioxidant circulation product. Let's look at grapeseed, the second extract in VitaFlow, also very high in antioxidants. Proanthocyanidins. You'll only find those in grapeseed. Strengthens blood vessels, increases elasticity, reduces swelling, relaxing vascular smooth muscle, enhancing blood flow, increasing nitric oxide, lowering blood pressure, reducing swelling, and powerful anticoagulant. So these Antioxidants do that for us. The oxidative products, the oxygen also does it very powerfully. But we need both because they're doing other things for us as well. Let's move now to glutathione. Powerful master antioxidant and detoxifier. Boosting immunity, produced in the cells of healthy people. And at its core, it's got 3 major amino acids, glutamine, glycine, and cysteine, all high in sulfur. Sulfur is one of the 3 major elements in alchemy, all required for detoxification. Even the DMSO has got sulfur in it, just to tell you. People who react to sulfur they're not allergic to it. It means that the sulfur is acting so quickly in their body that they need just the tiniest amount, like a iodine, like a chlorella. You just need the tiniest amount. Those people, you know who you are. Right, glutathione boosts levels in the body, especially the liver, and may be reduced by factors such as poor nutrition, environmental toxins such as graphene oxide, and stress. Glutathione levels decline with age. And a good thing to know is that vitamin C activates glutathione. We always want to fall back on plant-based because that has got it as nature intended. If you're continually taking ascorbic acid, synthetic vitamin C, your kidneys will become troubled. The acid will build up. The stones will build up. And with the last thing we want is an acidic body. We want lots of oxygen, an alkaline body. We want antioxidants working, we want the oxidants working, we want the natural processes working in the body. And we feed that body with the nutrients to do that. Powerfully. Directed, precise. Not just guesswork. We measure, we benchmark, we reassess. So here I'm going to put three stages together actually for you, and then we'll move on to nitric oxide. But superoxide dismutase, SOD enzyme, acts as the first line of enzymatic defense in immunity. You will build this if you have a high enough level of copper, zinc, and manganese. So go and Google those plant-based foods that have it in them. So it's a first line of defense against reactive oxidative species. We can't have too much of that. We can't have too much ROS in the body. We need to balance that. However, ROS acts as the weapon they act as weapons to the immune system to kill the invaders. Then, when that's happened, glutathione comes in and cleans up. It pairs with the enzyme glutathione peroxidase to neutralize hydrogen peroxide and convert it to water. So you're getting this 3-phase detoxification happening here to clear out free radicals. Fundamental for buffering nitric oxide. It's a free radical made by nitric oxide synthetase enzymes. And this is what it does. It's for neurotransmitters, vascular tone, platelet aggregation, skeletal muscle contraction, metabolic pathways, and inflammation. So we are dealing with an all-in-one here. When we're dealing with VitaFlow and glutathione, just, you can understand what's happening. And a bit more on glutathione and its enzymes. So it performs many functions in close cooperation with its enzymes, which are integral to the complex glutathione system. So you need the amino acids and the enzymes. This is all protein. All of it's protein. Enzymes are proteins that enable various chemical reactions in the body to occur much faster than they would without them. Enzymes act as catalysts, accelerating metabolic processes in the body. Each step of such a process or reaction requires a specific enzymes, and without it, the process becomes much more difficult. So again, make sure you have the peptides to conjugate your enzymes and do what you need to do. Replica RNA DNA. Here are the glutathione formulations. We've got glutathione 1,000 milligrams, and we've got 500 milligrams. We've got 500 glutathione plus phyto-C and 250 glutathione plus phyto-C. The pricing goes down and the strength goes down depending on the severity and the need within the body and what you're trying to do. So needless to say that people with very high degeneration are going to get the full glutathione, and they're going to get the phyto-C. So here we've got 12 orientations of herbs and superfoods to boost immunity naturally, food state. Cacao, that's going to stimulate nitric oxide. Baobab, rosehip, pomegranate, very high stimulation of nitric oxide. Bee pollen, the same. Green tea extract. Amalaki, haritaki, bibitaki, that would be your triphala. Citrus bioflavonoids activate nitric oxide. Turmeric does, and acai berry. So we've got a very powerful orientation here of vitamin C the body can use as it needs. So we're dealing with the VitaFlow, grapeseed, and pine bark. We're dealing with the glutathione sulfur, and we're dealing with the Phyto C straight antioxidants. You couldn't ask for more. And this is just a note from last time as well. This is how we put together the high-low quantum well-being compass, and this forms the immune aspect, building the immunity. And these products are touching on many of those areas. For example, oxygenation, clearing, opening the vessels, increasing circulation. It all hangs together. That's why we've got to work with food state, because it's much cleverer than us. And we do the benchmarking, we do the products, we do the drips, the saunas, the infrareds, the acupuncture, and we do the holistic ancestral orientation. So this lady I talked about in the beginning turned herself around in 1 week. We're not out of the woods. I'm by no means saying that. But the nutrients, the physical purification, the emotional purification, has contributed to her understanding herself. She's not blaming people anymore. She understands the cause. She understands that the degeneration is the label. It's the symptom, in other words. The cause is going to have an emotional base. Once the client sees that and understands it and owns it, the healing is very spontaneous. Very, very. So I'm delighted to have been able to help her. It's really humbling to see these kind of miracles happening. And the staff that work are just also amazed. So guess what? There's 15% of the immune support nutrients. Go to the online shop, 365 Healthy by Choice. And you can also go and have a look. And you can Google glutathione and Google VitaFlow, Google Phyto C, Google replica RNA, DNA, almost gold, and just immerse yourself in a sea of knowledge and wisdom. And, it all comes from an authentic base. I do the same things. I work on prevention, the age of prevention. Why wouldn't I? I want to advance in many other areas. I don't want to be held back by toxins, parasites, invaders, and so on. I don't want them near me. So here's something else. Let's just say you've got a patch of spinach and you've got quite sandy soil over there and you've got composted soil over here. Guess where the pests are going to go? They're not going to touch the healthy plants. They don't need to break them down. They're going to go to the unhealthy plants. They need to break them down so that they die. The minute we start feeding the soil, the plant revives and the pests move off. Same with us. Parasites and invaders will come to a body that's acidic, low in oxygen. It's got a poor immune system, poorly hydrated. Person is full of emotions. That's where they're going to reside because they thrive on that frequency. So that's your takeout from here today. Do you want to be the sick plant and open yourself up to invaders, or do you want to be the healthy plant where the invaders pass you by? I know my choice, and I'm sure I know your choice. So as I said, we giving you here today what we really need to do to think clearly, live productively, and thrive 365 days a year. With these beautiful, beautiful products. Any questions, please let me know. And I really do urge you to send the people that are ill, that have tried everything like this lady. I don't want to be the last resort. I'm happy to treat anybody, but it's effort. We've got to really get that wheel turning. I want to be the first line of resort where you haven't wasted money, you haven't wasted time. The body's still, easy for us to operate with. And that's my message to you, is don't wait with the people. So Have a great week. I hope I filled you with wisdom, and I look forward to next week.